Hello, my name is Julian, and I will be your instructor for nursing research for Oklahoma Wesleyan University. First of all, I want to show you the books and also go through some of the assignments. Your main textbook is Understanding Nursing Research by Burns and Grove. It will be very important that you use this reference and also to look up definitions and to help you with your proposals. There is a supplementary study guide called Understanding Nursing Research by the same authors, and there are exercises that you can complete as you read the chapters, and the answers are in the back of the book so you can get immediate feedback. Next, I will go through some of the assignments. This particular class, there's a group assignment and 2 papers that need to be submitted. I have already divided the class into 2 groups, and with this you will be doing a research proposal. Let's start at the beginning. This class has the discussion forum, and I'd like you to read through the requirements and the different of the rubric. Your original post is supposed to be Tuesday of each week, and it should be at least 250 words. Your responses to your classmates, I recommend 150 words. That is done in weeks 1 through 6. Then there's also some of the weeks Nursing Research Education Forum, and that is due on Thursdays. When it comes to the group assignment, that is in weeks 2 to 6. You will be doing a research proposal, and there's a form that you will use to do that with your group. During weeks 3, 4, and 5, you should submit parts of that proposal, and I will review them and provide feedback. In week 6, you have to submit the final paper and a PowerPoint. And right now there's 5 people in each group, and I actually recommend that you divide it up so that somebody submits in week 3, the part 1, somebody in week 4, part 2, somebody in week 5, part 3, and the final week, there's a final that needs to be submitted and a PowerPoint. In the course, I have provided information if you wanted to use Google Hangout to communicate with your group members, or the discussion forum in your groups is usually the most effective way to do that. There are papers that are due, critiques on week 3 and week 5. The week 3 critique is of a quantitative research article, and there is a guideline to help you gather up the information from the article so that you can write about it in your paper. It's very specific in the grading rubric what information has to be included on the paper, so you should use bullets so that each section is covered completely. Now this might seem a little overwhelming if you haven't read research papers, but the way that I did it the first time that I taught this class is I read the article, I printed off the article, and the first one is a quantitative research article. I printed it off. And then there is a guideline to help you critique the article. So first of all, read the article and then go through and look at the different things on the critique form and write on your article, write where, for example, it says there is a clear problem statement. go ahead and circle the problem statement and, label it so that you can go, when you're writing your paper, go back and look and see where everything is in the paper so that you can write about it. Another thing on the critique form of the rubric is adherence to ethical standards. So look through the paper and see where it talks about ethics. Circle it, highlight it, have it available so that when you're ready to write your paper, you have found everything you need to write about, which will make it quite easy to write the paper. So you have that due in week 3 and one due in week 5. Now the information on these articles is very similar in all research articles. Now my only experience, I've read a lot of research articles, and when I was working on my D&P, I had to do a project, and when I did that, I was asked that it be published in a book called Measuring Carrying International Research on Caritas as Healing, because I'd done a little bit, I'd used one of the tools that John Nelson had. He's one of the authors. And so my D&P paper was published in chapter 13. The only reason I bring this up is that if you look through this, many of the same things that are asked for in our critique are covered in my chapter and any other research paper. So it's pretty standard, the things that you'll want to look for when you're reading a research article. So the final written research proposal, it says in week 6 there's a very detailed list of what is required. But you also have to remember you're not actually conducting the research, you're only writing how you would do it. The biggest problem I see that students do is their group decides on a very broad issue, and you have to be, when you do research, you have to be very succinct and carefully choose your variables. For example, if you were going to write about nursing burnout and how it affects patient outcomes, in order to do that research, you would need to find in the literature or develop a tool to measure burnout. And I would suggest that when you do your literature search, you look for a tool look up burnout and look for tools, and they will even have reliability and validity discussed. Then what you're wanting to, as your dependent variable, might be patient outcomes. So you'll determine what patient outcomes you want to look at for your research. For example, you might want to look at fall rates or patient satisfaction based on Press-Ganey results. So you just have to, when you develop your research proposal, decide what you're going to look at and what's going to be changed and how you're going to evaluate any changes. But I can give you some more information about that as the time goes on. So anyway, I don't want to take up a lot of your time, but I just wanted to reassure you that this is a very doable course. There is a group project but that's not, the final version of that is not due until week 6. You'll be working with 4 other people, and you can divide up the work. I will be providing feedback every week 2 to week 5 on the proposal. Then in weeks 3 and 5, you do have to do a paper after you read an article, which is provided in the course. Be sure you use the article that's there. Don't pick out your own article. Then you have the 2 discussions and the spiritual life discussions. So we'll get a good chance to interact and discuss the different things that are included in the textbook. Please remember to call me, email me, or use questions section if you have any questions during this course. Have a great evening. Bye.